Tonight, the Northern Edition. Season's greetings to you all. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, a joint operation by Drug Enforcement Unit, police and Bahamian and U.S. Custom officers making a major drug seizure at the Freeport Container Port yesterday. The estimated street value of drugs, $1.2 million. Police tell us that around 3 o'clock yesterday, DEU officers acting on information went to the container port with custom officers and made the discovery. The suspected cocaine was packed in 2 black Nike duffel bags and hidden in a container of magnesium oxide that was on the way to Montreal, Canada from Panama. Reports say each duffel bag contained 45 clear plastic Ziploc bags. No arrest was made. Investigations are continuing. In other news, the Commonwealth Union gearing up to begin new contract talks for frontline workers at the Grand Lucane Resort. Union leaders say despite current economic challenges, they have great optimism heading into negotiations. President of the Trade Union Congress, Obie Ferguson, says the TUC is assisting the Commonwealth Union with resolving some issues at the Grand Lucane Resort. They are currently preparing to negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement with management of the property. Ferguson says they will ensure that the rights of the line staff are protected.
As you know, they voted overwhelmingly for the Commonwealth Union and the President and the officers, and we are obligated to ensure that they get what we consider to be a reasonable industrial agreement despite the economic situation in the country. We understand that, and we would negotiate with that in mind.
President of the Commonwealth Union of Hotel Services and Allied Workers, Michelle Dorset, is optimistic that the year 2014 will be a prosperous one. In June of last year, Dorset and the Commonwealth Union pulled off a landslide victory over the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, becoming the bargaining agent for line staff at the property. She says the union is working hard to ensure that members receive good representation.
118 was historical, and I do appreciate the workers. They understand how Mr. Ferguson is the president of the Managers Union. Mr. Reverend Pinder, he is the general secretary. Kirk Russell, he is the person who's in the property rep. Me and him have good communication all the time. When there are problems rise, we fix it. Doesn't be no dispute. It's just a simple matter what we fix. It's a good relationship with the company. I work there. I love my work. I'm a pastry cook. And I love to go and make sure my guests are satisfied. And once the workers see me working and doing my work and even going out the box, they fulfill their shoes also. So that's how it is.
She says while there are some minor challenges, the union is negotiating in good faith.
The people know what we promised them. In 2014, my dear, God's health and well, we will get successfully or finally get an agreement signed and move on. I represent 378 workers at the Grand Lucane, and they all are happy and pleased to have finally a union what actually could deliver and they could feel that we are actually doing the work for them.
Well, it is the third day of the new year and an old familiar problem has developed. A strong north wind combined with high tide causing some flood conditions today at the Fishing Hole Road. It created a bit of a hazard for motorists traversing the busy thoroughfare. The flood conditions caused by rising tide in the Hawksville Creek has become a frequent occurrence over the years, particularly during the hurricane season. Leading community leaders are calling for a permanent solution to the flooding problem at the Fishing Hole Road. Today's flood conditions subsided by late afternoon, but weather officials say a northerly wind flow expected to continue tomorrow. Some minor flooding conditions may persist over the weekend. And the deadly blaze which wiped out a portion of the Pigeon Peak community in Abaco is still under investigation. The officer in charge of the Northern Bahamas was among the authorities on the ground as other agencies reached out to provide some social assistance. John Davis Rolle reports.
The journey to restoration continues over on the northern island of Abaco, with the government, private and social agencies moving to address the needs of people and countless victims, many of them now in crisis. The police officials launching a major investigation in what caused that deadly blaze. on Abaco the day after the devastation struck and the deadly blaze claimed the lives of a mother and a son was Assistant Commissioner of Police for Grand Bahama and the Northern Bahamas, Emmerich Seymour. ACP Seymour and his team of officers examining the scene bears a mammoth task as the search for answers lie under tons of debris. The aftermath of a fire which sent shockwaves throughout the Abaco community.
We've started that process already, and as a matter of fact, as you can see all the way down, we've already went through to determine, to make sure that we were satisfied that no other bodies were in the rubble, were buried underneath the rubble, and so we've made that determination as well. And of course, and you're quite right, we've begun the process of sifting through the rubble now to determine exactly what happened, what transpired, what contributed to this fire.
Now, while investigators carry out their probe into the devastated area of Pigeon P, all the social partners, including social services, Urban Renewal, and the Red Cross sprung into action. The Urban Renewal team from Grand Bahama providing immediate assistance, helping with the processing of hundreds of fire victims and providing water, food, and clothing.
We're very grateful for the team that has come from Grand Bahama, from Urban Renewal, to join with the teams here to be able to help in whatever assessments and whatever else we can do.
We always welcome help wherever we can get it. At this time, anybody in the Abaco area, I'd like to appeal for clothing, shoes, because this is going to be an ongoing process to house and clothe people.
We will have a plane and a boat flying tomorrow. We're going to work hand in hand with social service today to get a full assessment of what is needed, what we can bring in, and we will be on the ground all day today and immediately in the morning again. The boat will come in with supplies.
Now the greatest challenge for Pigeon P residents is where do they go from here? Hundreds of residents left with only the clothes on their backs. In Pigeon P, Abaco, reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition continues right after this.